Welcome back to TechKidFX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Polygon Matic, whose current price stands at the $0.8219 mark, and here on TradingView the market is down by 1.23%. And in this video I want to give you the key scenarios that I expect to play out basing my analysis on the Elliot waves and the Fibonacci's, and also the key areas of support and resistances. And I'll kickstart the video by giving a brief of what has been happening on this chart. Polygon Matic from the all-time high has been seeing lower prices in this massive ABC corrective movement, which has now taken us back to around the $0.32 mark, and having done so, I believe it has done the minimum that we expected it to do in its ABC corrective movement, and soon we might see a very nice bounce to the upper side, obeying this Elliot wave structure, having a wave 5 taking us back to an all-time high. But before we get to an all-time high, we first need to see a fast wave to the upper side play out here on the Polygon Matic chart, and I believe that is what has been playing out here on the Polygon Matic chart. And if I jump to the 4-hour chart so that we can see this better, within that first wave to the upper side, according to the Elliot wave structures and guidelines, we also expect to see fractal waves in formation within that first wave, and I believe that is what is playing out. And we have seen the formation of this fractal wave, where we are now in the formation of a fifth wave to the upper side, which will be completing this higher Elliot wave count 1. And if I get a little bit into the details of the formation of that fractal wave so that it can also give us the key scenarios that we expect to play out, after making our low down here, we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side, making our high for that first wave, then saw a very nice retracement to the lower side in the formation of a wave 2, then continued pushing high in the formation of a third wave, making our high for that third wave at around the $1.06 mark. And after making that high, we saw a very nice retracement to the lower side in the formation of a wave 4, and because a fourth wave is a retracement of the third wave, we can use the Fibonacci's, connecting them from this low of this wave 3 to the high of that wave 3, and that gives me a minimum retracement area to the lower side in the formation of that fourth wave between the fib level 0.382 and the fib level 0.618, and I can mark that target area here on the chart like that, and you can see that my target area lies between the $0.81 mark and the $0.67 mark, and Polygon Matic has continued to respect that movement to the lower side and came down into this target area. And because the fourth wave is a corrective wave, I also expected to see a corrective movement play out here on this chart, and that is an ABC corrective movement, and I believe we are also seeing that, having this as the wave A. Then we saw a wave B to the upper side, making our high at around the $0.94 mark. Then we continued pushing lower in the formation of a wave C, making a low at around the $0.69 mark, which is within this target area that I have drawn out here on this chart. And there's a possibility that we have bottomed in that formation of a fourth wave to the lower side, and whatever we are seeing right now is the formation of a fifth wave to the upper side, which is an impulsive wave, and we also expect to see fractal waves in formation within that fifth wave to the upper side. And getting to the key scenarios that I expect to play out, I'll be basing my key scenarios on the Elliot waves and also the key chart patterns that you have information on this chart. And I'll start with the scenarios that can play out basing it on the structures that we have on this chart. You can see within this movement, within the formation of that fourth wave, we saw the formation of a channel, which I have drawn out using these yellow lines that I have here on this chart, and you can see Polygon Matic continue to respect that channel to the lower side, and at some point we saw a breakout out of the channel to the upper side in this movement right here. And after seeing that breakout to the upper side, we saw a retest of the upper side of the channel, but the retest was not a success, and we got back into the channel once more. And because within that channel we have a key area of support at around the $0.78 mark, that key area of support gave us support, and we are seeing another very nice bounce to the upper side. We also have another channel that is in formation within this movement right here, and if I draw it out, we can have it right here, having this as the upper side of the channel, then this is the lower side of the channel like that. And you can see Polygon Matic has continued to respect that channel having more than 3 touch points, and this also gives me the key possible scenarios that can play out. And you can see that we managed to hit the upper side of this channel right here at around the $0.87 mark, and after making that high we saw a very nice retracement back into the channel to the lower side of the channel. And because within the channel we have a key area of support at around the $0.78 mark, we saw we found support, and we are seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side. And there is a possibility that in case we continue pushing higher to the upper side of the channel, there is a possibility of us managing to break above out of the channel to the upper side. And in case that happens, I will also expect to see maybe a retest of the upper side of the channel before we continue pushing higher and get back to around the $0.95 mark, which is a key area of resistance. And at that point we can manage to break above that key area of resistance and continue pushing higher. And in case that happens, then my Elliot wave structure that I have here, which has my second scenario, can play out, because I'm expecting whatever we are seeing over here is the formation of a fifth wave to the upper side, which is an impulsive wave, and we also expect to see fractal waves in formation within that fifth wave. And because of that, I have an Elliot wave structure within that fifth wave to the upper side. That is a fractal wave, having that as the wave 1. Then whatever we saw right here is the formation of a wave 2. Then I expect us to continue pushing high in the formation of a third wave, then expect a fourth wave and a fifth wave to complete that higher Elliot wave count 1, which is a fractal wave within that fifth wave to the upper side. And so in case we manage to break out of the channel to the upper side and continue pushing higher, we might get to the target areas for that third wave to the upper side, for that fractal wave 1, which is a fractal wave within that fifth wave to the upper side. And getting a little bit into the details of this fractal wave that I have drawn out, which is a fractal wave within that fifth wave, we can get to see whether this wave 2 here has done the minimum that we expect a wave 2 to do. And to get to see that, I'll be using the Fibonacci's, connecting them from the low of the wave 1 to the high of that wave 1, and that gives me a minimum retracement area between the fib level 0.382 and the fib level 0.618. and you can see this wave 2 retraced into that target area. We even went back to around the fib level 0.78 fib level, then found support because that fib level lies at perfectly at a key area of support, then saw a very nice bounce to the upper side. And we can also sketch out a target area to the upper side in the formation of that third wave using a trend based Fibonacci, and I just need to use the trend based fib, connecting it from the low of the wave 1 to the high of that wave 1, then drag the fibs to the low of that second wave, and that gives me a minimum target area to the upper side in the formation of a wave 3 at around the fib level 1.618, and that is at around the $0.978 mark. So once that plays out and we maximize that target area, I will expect a formation of a fourth wave, then we continue pushing higher in the formation of a fifth wave to complete that higher Elliot wave count 1. There's also a possibility that maybe the bottom is not yet in here on the Polygon Matic chart, and that can only play out in case we don't have massive volume for us to continue pushing the price of Polygon Matic to the upper side. And in case that is the case, then I would expect us to continue seeing lower prices, lose that key area of support at around the $0.78 mark, continue trading within the channel. And once we see a breakout out of the channel to the lower side, there are two possibilities over here. There is a possibility that we can make a new low below the low that we have at around the $0.69 mark, and that can take us back to around the $0.66 mark, which is the lower side of this target area that I have drawn out over here. And once we maximize that, then we can expect a very nice bounce to the upper side in the formation of a wave 5. That is the first possibility in case we continue seeing lower prices. It is also very possible that we can get back to around the $0.66 mark and manage to break out of this target area that I have drawn out and continue pushing lower. And we also need to have invalidation points in case that happens, and we can only invalidate this Elliot wave structure to the upper side in case that fourth wave retraces into the high of the first wave. And I have my wave one high at around the $0.62 mark. So in case we lose the $0.66 mark and we continue pushing lower, in case we get to the $0.62 mark, then my Elliott wave structure will be invalidated. And in case that happens, then I'll need to restructure my Elliott wave count here on the Polygon Matic chart. We can also sketch out a target area to the upper side in the formation of this higher Elliott wave count 1 using a trend based Fibonacci, and I just need to connect the trend based Fibonacci, connecting it from the low of the wave 1 to the high of that wave 1, then dragging the fibs to the high of the wave 3, and that gives me a minimum target area to the upper side in the formation of that higher Elliott wave count 1 at the fib level 0.618, and that is at around the $1.2474 mark. So let's be patient and see how that plays out. Also taking a look at the indicators to see what movements will be supported. Here on the 4-hour RSI, we are trading at around the 51 mark, meaning we have massive room for us to support any movement to the upper side in the formation of that third wave that I have drawn out here on this chart. Also taking a look at the MACD, on the MACD we had printed a bearish crossover here, but from what you can see over here, we are losing the volume, and that would mean soon we might be printing a bullish cross, and that would mean higher prices could be coming our way. So let's be patient and see how that plays out, and I'll keep you updated.